All right. Um, I am here and I had a little bit of difficulty, technical difficulties with OneStream today. And I just want to make sure that I am live and just want to text my manager. Um, right. So if you are, let me see, let me put my chat session on and all right. So technology. It is what it is. All right. So let's just gonna put my make sure that I am live. All right. So here we go. All right. Um the only thing that I didn't check was whether my mic should be going. Okay, so it should be going on. All right. All right. So here we go. So today my intention was to go over um some business audits of live businesses. I had some couple of businesses that actually did reach out and actually asked me to do an audit. But one of the things that I didn't get was a release, meaning basically I just want to make sure that they're okay mentioning their business. So I didn't get that, and so I was just thinking about um, what I'm gonna do. But anyway, the 3 things that I want to mention when it comes to when I'm doing audits is number 1 is visibility, right? So at the end of the day, on whether you have a physical business or whether you have an online business, you have to have visibility, right? If you don't have visibility, meaning that you don't have organic visibility, then you actually have to run ads. You have to either run Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, YouTube ads, any type of ads so that you can get traffic to your business, whether you're driving traffic to a landing page or to your website, you have to basically pay, right? But nowadays, you have social media that is free, right? So you basically have to um, pay or use sweat equity, right? Whether it's your sweat equity or somebody else's, a an assistant or a VA, virtual assistant, to actually start posting things online so that you can get some organic traffic, right? So visibility. Now, when I first started my business back in, a long time ago, this was, real estate. I got, my frustration was always chasing leads. I was always trying to, you know, chasing leads, getting deals closed, and then going to my next deal. And so, what I did was, okay, there's got to be a better way, right? So what I did was I focused on SEO, basically having people find me through people searching for me or for a problem that they're trying to solve, right? Back then it was they're trying to sell their homes. And so I was in real estate wholesaling. And so I was able to achieve that. And so um basically what happened was I started helping other people, other agencies and other investors. And so um local SEO has been around for a long time, and I think more and more Google is going to be driving, especially if you have a local business or you're a professional that serves the local area, that is going to be a huge thing in the coming years, and it will always be, because at the end of the day, uh, people locally are always going to require services or products near them. Okay, Amazon will probably provide whatever merchandise, but local people will always require services. Okay. And so local SEO with regard to Google business profile. And that's what I mean by online visibility when it comes to especially local businesses. Now, does it apply to also online business? Yes. Yes and no in a way, but So, in terms of when I look at audit, I always look at online visibility of a business or a professional when I do an online audit. The second thing I look at, let me see if I have my chat. I mean, chat. All right, so I connected my chat, and so I should be. I'm still getting used to online. This one stream. I should not sure if I can take this off or not. But anyway, all right. So the second thing that I look at when I do an online audit is I look at when people find you or they come through you, whether they found you through an ad or something. We are looking for you to capture their information, right? There's many ways then you can do that, whether it's a form on your website, whether it's a web chat where they try to, when somebody lands on your homepage, there's a bubble on the lower right hand or lower, most of the time it's on the lower right hand side of your website. Um, and that it gives you the ability for a bubble to pop up and they can start conversing with someone in your business. And then there are other ways where if people call you through, whether they go through directly through Google Business Profile or whether they um, call you from a phone number that they see on your website. When I use Google Maps, when I look for, let's just say, if I wanted to go look for a restaurant that I want, every Friday, my wife asked me like, "Hey, what are we gonna have for dinner?" And so I usually go to Google Maps and or I type in something on Google and basically look for restaurants, right? Whether it's let's say Thai food or Spanish food or any type of food, I will Google it and I will look at what shows up, and that will pretty much determine what there's a bunch of favorite restaurants that we go to, but typically, if you want something, try something new, then we'll go on Google and we'll try to look for something. And so, um, and then when you get found through your website or through Google, right? You're going to have to try to recapture that, right? Whether it's somebody, let's say you're looking for a plumber, right? You go Google plumber, and most of the times, like if you don't have somebody that you typically call, you would go down the list and basically look at the reviews and then make a phone call. And if they don't pick up, then I'll go to typically the next one, and whoever does pick up, right? Will you leave a message? I'm just thinking of it from my point of view. Will I leave a message if somebody doesn't pick up and goes to voicemail? Typically, probably not. If I knew that business, then I would leave a message knowing that they'll call me back. So let's say if it's my CPA or um, if it's somebody that typically my dentist or whatever, right? I will typically, like to this day, I still don't know the exact address of my dentist. I usually Google them by their office, and then I usually just call using Google Maps, right? I would just typically, when you go down to Google Maps, the local searches, I would just press call, and then that will take them there, right? And if I was doing a search cold, meaning that I don't know a specific business that I want to do business with or that I'm trying to reach, I would just go down the list and just make a call and then talk to whoever picks up, right? Would I leave a message? Probably not. Okay. So that I look at it from the perspective of, so we talked about um let's say if you are coming up online, right? And, you know, you typically submit a form if you want to get more information or a website conversation. That's probably if there was a web chat, like a web chat widget, um, would I ever use it? Typically, if I go on it, right, I would typically look at it and then if it's asking you to submit a form, there's a lot of, website widgets that actually just says, submit your information, and then we'll get back to you in 24 hours." Probably I would not. I would if I needed if I needed to get some answers right now, I would probably call them, right? And if they don't pick up, then I would probably go to the next person, right? But if it's a web chat widget, I would probably, um, I'm just thinking right now, would I converse with it? Probably not unless it gives me a response and then it gave me an answer that I was looking for, right? This is my preference. And so everybody's preference may be different. Um, but if it gave me the results or the information I need, and then possibly I would make additional calls, and then it would give me an incentive to leave a message because I got the information I need. Okay. All right. So that's basically, and then the last item when in terms of capturing information or capturing the traffic that is going to your brand is probably a lead magnet or some sort of information that people would want in exchange for the name. And like if I go to a plumber, would I download any information? Probably not, because plumbers are um uh I guess it really depends on what kind of information. Like if there was I'm just thinking hypothetically, if there was I'm talking about local business. Let's just say my case, right? I do a lot of local SEO, and if my lead magnet is a blueprint, right? That basically shows you the basic steps of setting up your Google business profile and generating free leads on Google. That may be, inf- you know, that's valuable information, and so that's available, and people would submit their name and information, and so, you know. Uh, for example, for real estate agents, a lot of it is, CMAs. CMA stands for com comparable market report, right? No, report analysis. I think that's what it stands for. Um, Anyway, so basically if somebody was looking for, let's just say if I wanted to sell my house, right? And I go online and I find your website, and I checked out your website, I checked your reviews, you um seem reputable, and so I would go online and go to your website and then submit my information to ask for a comp like CMA report. Um then I would go to if there was no request for me to put out my information, you know, typically I would call, and then I would I, if the agent, typically real estate agents, if they get a call, they would typically call back immediately. Like if you don't call back immediately, then there's probably a high probability you may lose that deal, but maybe not. Um, so we talked about first visibility, second, a way to capture, right? And then lastly is how do we do it in a way that it takes um, uh, away from you from doing everything. And this is where I think a lot of times where I think I was missing the piece, right? So let me share my screen, and I'm going to pull my business, and basically that's what I did because I didn't want. All right, so all right, so let me go and share my screen here and add to screen. All right, so here we go. Let me go. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, I will have more businesses. I want to get their release before I show their business. Okay, so if I'm looking at Google, right, I'm gonna just type in Google, and so let's say typically when I do a search for a business, I would type in typically their name, right? In this case, my business name is K Madison Media. So probably I would show up because I'm like, well, not necessarily, because my business is in Teaneck. I am located somewhere outside of that. Why is hold on a second, let me just type in K Madison Media, right? So typically, if you type in your business, you should actually let me go in. I'm gonna go incognito. All right. So then K Madison Media, right? So one of the first things that you would do is if you want to check out your online visibility, you would type in your business name or your brand and make sure that you are coming up first on the search engine, and then also on what this is called a Google panel. That's basically, and so basically, Google Business Profile knows my name and associated Google listing and shows up on the right hand side. If you're not popping up in the right hand side, that means that you have not optimized or Google doesn't know your brand and it's not popping up, right? Or you don't have a Google Business Profile to begin with, all right? And then the next thing I would do is I'm just curious because I haven't even done it yet. So I just type in my name, right? Paul Kim is probably a very well-known name. So I'm just gonna type in marketing and see if that shows up. So there is a sign for there's somebody actually see I told you Paul Kim is a very popular name. So and that's not even me, right? So I'm not even gonna try to compete um, in that area. So I'm just curious. All right, so that's me showing up. Something for me to probably focus on is focusing on the keyword my name and marketing, but not a big deal for me at this point. And then the next thing I would do is that if a business, so let's say if you message me or you basically ask me to check out and audit your business, I would do this. And then the next thing I would do is probably um, do if you have a Google Business Profile, then I will put that into this platform that we use, and then I would do a I would do a search. I would run what's called a local search, and you may have seen these where people, so these um, show you basically the local SEO as it pertains to these how you rank in relationship to your location. So what that means is that if I were to type in this social media marketing, this is the location of my business. And as you can see, I'm ranking number one, right? But as it relates to the surrounding area, right, I am ranking number seven around Saddle River, around, no, this is Rochelle Park, right? So the goal of local SEO when what we do is we try to expand that reach and try to make it all green. Green is within the top three Google pack, right? So when you do a search, there usually Google shows you the top local searches, and so you want to try to get in the top three because beyond that, people are not going to be going to the second page unless you're looking for like more than three, results, right? And then at the bottom here, these are some of the competitors, right? And then the next thing I would look at is, this is a little bit going beyond the audit report. If somebody wanted to do a more in-depth audit report, I would do what's called a citation tracker, and this is pretty low because I to be honest, like I work on other businesses, and so one of the goals for this year is actually to work on my own business. And so the saying, especially if you're in the home services or contracting, you work on other businesses but we don't work on our own homes. So anyway, all right. So that's one of the things I look at. And then also the other thing I look at is number of reviews. Are they getting, when was the last review that they've when was the last review that they had, and how many reviews they had that specific business has in relationship to other competitors. And then, the other thing I look at is if they do have a website, I look at the website and see um, how their website is structured in a way, because especially with the AI, with AI coming into the picture now and moving forward, your website and the information that's on your website is going to become more and more important moving forward. All right. And then the other thing I look at also on the website is, do they have a website widget? And the other thing I look at is typically if they're um, the phone number, right? So this is kind of going a little bit deep, right? If their phone number on their Google Business profile, just everything is, if on their Google Business profile, do they have the information? Do they have the correct information on their Google Business profile? Okay. All right. So on that note, I am going to let me see. Let's see if there's any conversations. I did post on my social media if anybody wanted to do for me to look at their audit, their information, their business, and give you basically an assessment. I don't think nobody posted, but it is available. So if you are watching this and you do want me to audit your business in the future, please put your business type, comment audit plus your type of business, and then either you can actually put your name of your business if you really want to. If you want to be anonymous, then I will try to reach out to you, or you could reach out to me and DM me, and then just type in audit plus your type of business, whether let's say it's a restaurant or whether it's a landscaper, and then the name of your business. And even better, if you want to put your link, like you could direct DM me directly. I'm available in all of the social media platforms under Paul Kim 360. You probably can find me if you do a search. DM me with, like I said, audit plus the the type of business, and then also if you want to put a link to your business or your website or the name of your business, and then that gives me um, the authority, I guess, the release for me to talk about your business online. Okay. If you prefer not for me not to do that, then you can email me or you can DM me and said, give me your email address, and then I will email you directly. So that way, that basically tells me that you don't want me to. Some people are very private about those things. I don't think you should, because in this day and age right now, we as business owners need to be online. We need to be more active promoting our business online. And I think as one of the things that I realized, that I don't promote my business as much as I should. Um, um, and I think it goes to everyone that's watching this. um, you need to be promoting online, what in whichever way, right? Um, but what happens a lot of times, our own we get so busy in the what we do in our business. So for example, in my case, right, um, I'm busy helping other businesses with their online presence, and I do a good job for them, that I don't focus on mine. And so one of the goals for next couple of months is really focusing on my business. And then one of the things that I think actually what I'm going to do for the next 5-10 minutes, I'm going to share a couple of things that I'm going to do, that I'm going to focus on. And so if you go to my website, okay, so one of the things that I do know that I struggled, right? Not necessarily struggled, that I've been putting this off for the longest time in my business, is that I have my phone number, right? And so one of the things I know I get a lot of phone calls for spam, right? You if you're a local business owner, you probably get those calls, right? About your Google listings and blah blah blah. And so so basically, I don't pick up my phone, and I suspect a lot of businesses do this as well, right? Not unless if you are certain professionals, like you have somebody literally picking up your phone. I don't have a dedicated person picking up the phone. So, one of the things I'm going to focus on the next um, upcoming month or two is really creating what's called a AI employee, right? And that's really having AI the capability for AI to pick up the phone, have conversations, and then direct it to where I want them to go, right? And the same thing. So if you look at contact us, right? I have this form. When this form comes in, I, I have to have the ability, you know, for it to be automatically dealt with, right, by my AI employee. So phone, forms, and then also this website, this conversation for this to be also handled by AI widget as well. Okay. I don't know why I don't like my face on the bottom. I like it on the side. And I'm going to try to see if I could get rid of this. Oh, look at that. I got rid of that. All right. So, all right. And so that is one of the things as well. So if I have this tied in to what I call an AI employee, then the AI employee, artificial intelligence, right, can actually do the work of somebody actually, uh, you know, physically being there to pick up and to leave off whatever conversation that a potential customer might have. Now, if it one of the reasons why I don't pick up the phone is because I get solicitations, and so I've actually handled that by currently my AI would tell them to basically take me off their list, but I have not trained the AI at this point to basically direct them to wherever I want them to go, right? And that's one of the things I need to sit down and actually do, but because I just don't have the time. So I've been really focusing on like simplifying my business so that um, the back end of this can be handled, right? Because what I do is on the front end, marketing, that's being done by these videos that I push out, social media, and also outbound that I am currently doing with regard to email marketing and social media. All right. So I know I did not do an audit of other businesses, but this is something that I just recently started. Just actually, this is my first time talking about this. And so, um, before I end the show, let me get rid of this. So before I end this live, one of the things, like I said, I want to mention and I want to encourage people that are watching this or you're watching this after the actual live is to, comment below, audit plus the type of business and your, if you're comfortable leading your information, your business name or your website or your Instagram or Facebook page of your business so that if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then DM me your email address. And if you do leave your email address, I mean, if you DM me or submit your email, then I'm assuming that you don't want me to do it live, but rather submit it to you directly. All right. So on that note, I don't even know if this comment works. Yeah, this is one of those things where on my to-do list of constantly fixing and updating my one live. Well, I'm using one stream dot live. Actually, that's what I'm using. And I'm gonna continuously improve upon these Friday lives, which I will continue to do at 11 o'clock. All right. So until next time, I will see you. And just a last minute plug. If you want to check out my my free leads blueprint, it is at, um, freeleadsblueprint.com. Alright, bye now.